Okay, welcome to our paint class. This is me saying hello. Just to walk through quickly, we're just doing it on paper because I didn't have enough boards, but you will be using these little boards. You are welcome to tape off the edge. The benefit of that is you'll have a nice clean edge on the side. If you want to do it with a regular board and no taping it, you can see, so here's one that I've done another time, and I just make sure to paint on my sides because then it looks cleaner, it looks more finished. But see, this one they didn't, and so it's like it's fine, but it's just not as finished. So those are your options for your tools. I know you have a skinny brush and a pointed brush. That's all we'll be using today. For the colors, you'll need to have light blue, red, white, a little bit of black, and brown. And again, the red and the black are going to be really little. You're barely going to use them, so you don't need a lot. Okay. All right, well, so welcome to this painting class. I have my assistant here, and since it's a team painting, oh, I guess I should show you. This is what the end product is going to be. It's bears. And this was my 7-year-old, and this, well, maybe he was 6, doesn't matter. My 6-year-old and me, and then afterwards you can frame them or put them, but they go together like that, okay? I'll show those every once in a while. So the first thing you do is you pick up your bigger brush, get it just a little bit wet, and you get it wet so that the paint, if you use a dry brush and you try to paint it on your paper, it just moves around. It won't actually bind to your paper very well. So you want it just a little bit wet. I usually try to push out the water so it's wet. You can just grab your blue, and really what you're doing is just covering the whole thing with blue. And I personally like doing it all in the same stroke, whether that be this way or vertical. That's totally up to you, and there is no right and wrong. And if you decide not to even stick to one general direction, that also is fine. Now, if you're having a hard time with your blue paint, like it's just not moving, grab your brush and just dip it slightly in the water, okay? And then you can kind of put it on the paint then and just keep going. And that will help your paint to go a little further. Depending on where you're at and the temperature in the room, your painting may dry a lot faster or a lot slower than mine. And it doesn't really matter when it dries, but obviously it's easier to paint over with the next color when your painting is dry. So you don't want to go too thick, just because then it takes a lot longer to dry. So adding a little bit of water to be able to push that around, that helps your paint stay at least somewhat thinner. When painting a background, if you look around, even in photography, you'll notice that the background is never one solid color. It's usually variants of a color, or there's shapes or things in the background that make it a little bit more interesting. So it's okay if all the blue is not even. I don't have a lot of blue left, and because I don't like to waste it, I'm just gonna pick it all up and just plop it on. So feel free to do that. And depending on whatever light blue you get, it might look a little different than this one. you doing?
Just about done.
Once your background is blue, what I like to do is just dap my brush in white, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of lines in it, and I like to just to create again that two-dimensional look, so it's not all one solid color. And after I put my lines on, grab a very little itty bitty bit of water. I even like to brush it off a little bit and then just go over it a little bit, and just like it just kind of blends it in just a little bit, so it's not so, you know, so bold. Now if you like it super bold, leave it. If you like it super blended, then go over it with a little more water. And that, my friends, and again, the background really doesn't, I mean, it's the background. So when you look at a painting, like if you look at this, I don't even know that you'd notice the background at all. It's, you look at what's in the picture. So the background really is hard to mess up. All right, so that's that. If you need to pause and let people catch up, now's your chance. Okay, we are gonna take, again, the same brush we were using. Make sure you rinse it out of all the blue. Wipe it off. Have a little paper towel here and just wipe off a little bit. I still have a bit of blue on there. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna work with this shape. Sorry, just a second. This painting uses this shape a lot. So I'm going to use this paper. I'm just gonna, with my black, I don't want you to do this, but the shape is a big U with a line. That's the shape we will be working with for the bear. It repeats over and over. So get that in your mind a little bit. So what's gonna happen is we want our bears to be next to each other, okay? So whichever, you just want to be on the side that it's closer to, okay? So again, with your brush that is the larger flat one, we're gonna pick up our brown. It looks pretty dry. Okay. But what you want to make sure is that you have the taped off line, and you want to make sure with your first line that you are giving yourself a little bit of space. Now, if you're doing this with the parent and the child, this side right here is your parent, I'm going to be the child. And what's going to happen is you want that parent to go up higher, and the child is going to be shorter. So if I'm the child, I'm going to hurry and set in my, not hurry, you don't have to hurry, but I'm going to come in and I'm going to set in my size. Now parent needs to go and just, it obviously is the same shape, but that parent needs to just get it taller than mine. Great, that's perfect. So we got the same shape. Hers, my mother's is taller than me. And then what you're gonna do with your brown is just fill it in.
Do I want some blue showing?
Yeah, make sure you leave just a little bit of blue, and that's okay. If you do cover it up, just let it dry, and you're just gonna take your blue and you will fill it in. I am really glad that my mother agreed to do this, because I think I would have forgotten a lot of steps. Also, it would have taken 3 times as long. Give it a second to dry. If you can still see your blue underneath it, you just do it a quick second layer. With how hot it is in here, our paint's drying pretty darn fast. Could turn on the fan, huh?
Yeah, is that better? Or
Maybe.
if you want it.
Yeah. And then every once in a while too, like if you still can see through it, you'll just add a second layer until, and even then it's, you aren't gonna be able to tell. So there are our bears. If you need more time, go ahead and pause the recording.
Do you think mine should be wider?
That's up to you. It doesn't matter how wide or how not wide it is. It's your bear. There's no right or wrong.
I want to be the mother that's skinny for the little child.
Okay, then we will be a skinny mother and a healthy, skinny child. Okay, so rinse that out. Next, what we're going to be doing. Oh wait, don't rinse. Well, yeah, you can rinse it out. With your littler brush, let's go to a little brush now, just so that it's easier to work with this smaller spot. We're going to add our ears, which again is the exact same shape, but just a lot smaller, okay? So you grab your brown, and you're just going to add 2 cute little same shape bumps. Using the smaller brush again, just so that you have a little more control over where it's going. If he has a funky ear, maybe he was in a little cub bear fight with his brother, sister, and they didn't play fair. That's why. Cute ears. And again, if you need to let it dry and paint another layer, you can pause the video and finish your ears. Maybe this is a time for talking about a little bit about brushes. Whenever you're not using your brush, leave it in the water. That way it won't ever get stiff and dry and ruined. Okay. We're gonna take, which one's mine? This one's mine. We're gonna take your bigger brush now, okay? And what you're gonna do is you have this white and this brown, and what we're doing is we're gonna grab a bunch of the white, and we're gonna stick it in the brown, and we're gonna make a light brown. Okay? And that is all I'm gonna do. Did you catch that? Take a scoop of your white. Yep, take a scoop of the white. Nice scoop. There it is. Now you can just add it to your brown. Yeah. And if you want it lighter, then you can add more. But with that white, it'll still show contrast. You know, no matter what you do, it's going to show contrast. If you want it to be more contrasted, then add more white. Or if you like it, then be done. So you've got to think. Okay, if this to about right here will be, this is going to be his face, and this is his body, okay? So without having to put a line on there, what's going to happen is you're doing the exact same shape, and you're going up, go up to your wherever you, how high you want your tummy to be, and you're going to draw that same shape. And fill it in. Or if you feel like you need
ridge. Can I get rid of the ridge? This,
Yeah, just go over it with your brush. Yeah, so she's talking about this right here, that ridge. If you take your brush, to demonstrate, you can either take your brush and dip it in the ridge and pull it out, or let's see, or go over it one more time, and you're just gonna kind of bring it in. Is that helpful?
yes, I like that. I need to be
It's a little
left-handed.
Yeah, it's a little awkward. You can also, I mean, sometimes it's nice having that paint, and you can, oh, here, I'll even show you. With whatever brush you're using, if you take here, this is that brown, and if you want to just like dab on it, it can look even more, a little bit more like hair-esque. It doesn't have to be this flat surface, if you don't want it to be. It is all your painting. You can do that. You can even take your paper towel and take the corner and dab it just to create a little more texture. It's so fun to play with paint and just getting to know your textures and figuring out what you like and how it changes the painting. Probably from afar you wouldn't be able to tell that there is that texture there, but close up it makes a little bit of a difference. Yeah? Kind of fun. Yeah. So now we're going to go to our little brush. That's your little brush. And we are going to do the nose and the ears. Again, the exact same shape. But what I would suggest doing is when you're grabbing your paint, you're gonna put your line in first. Put that nice line at the bottom of your nose so you know exactly where you want it to end. That's how much room I want on the bottom, and I'm just gonna draw that bottom and then draw my little half circle. And that is his nose, or her nose, I guess. That thick, which is okay. Yeah, there it is. That's a good nose.
Thank you. I know my nose.
Now to do ears, it's the exact same thing. You're gonna draw your line on the bottom of both ears. And then you're going to draw your bump. Okay, and if you need to pause at this point to catch up, please feel free to do so. Next step is we actually are going to go to our trees. These are our aspen trees that we're going to paint this time. We're going to do that to give our bear just some time to really dry. It's hard to do the black outlining and the mouth and the eyes when we're wet. So going now to your medium brush again. These trees are fun because they really don't, they're basically just straight up and down. So if you need more colors, let your instructor know, but go ahead and grab some white, and you're gonna start at the top and go all the way down to the bottom. And obviously that didn't get all the way down, but you at least know your general direction. And whereas they probably are almost the same size from top to bottom, they don't have to grow straight either. So don't feel like you have to have this perfect tree. Trees are knobby little stinkers. So, and this time that was my thick tree where my brush is completely flat. It's horizontal. The second tree, I'm going to take my brush and tip it so it's vertical, and I'm going to do a thinner tree right next to it. And I think that's a little bit too thin for me and the way I like it, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. But and it might not stand out very well, but we will.
That's not cleaning my brush very good.
Oh, well, that's okay. We're gonna add lines to it too, but you can always let it dry and you can always paint over that.
Instructor, I would like more white because I've messed my white up so bad.
Okay.
See how bad it is?
See that? And that's when I say, okay, I'll add it right here on this side.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
will work. Let's see if I can get my brush cleaned out better. Well, that was your brush. I don't know why. I guess I touched the black. That's what happened. So much
Accidents
skill.
happen, right?
All right. So then,
So I like to just put 2 trees in. If you want to do just 1 or 2 or 3, that's for you to decide. So yeah, I did a fat tree and then I did vertical and I went just a smaller tree. Yep. Oh, that is a beautiful tree. It's also nice too, like if you're ever just paused and you don't have anything to do on your painting, just kind of stand up, walk around to other people's paintings, see how they take, everybody kind of interprets it different and they have their own take on things. It's just great. So now coming to the trees, we're gonna do some branches. I promise you, less is better. And branches are always growing upward. So you never want them going into the tree. You start at the top and then you're gonna come down to your tree, okay? And for this thicker tree, I'm gonna have a thicker branch. And for this smaller one, I'm just gonna do some itty bitties. And you know what, even on that thicker one, I'm gonna do it a little one going up, okay? And another little one right there. Okay. And that is my tree. Oh, nice. Now something to look for, even right here, see how there's this triangle shape? You gotta be careful with these triangles because that doesn't look very natural. And if that happens, you can grab your little brush and all you do is just kind of round them out because trees don't usually have those sharp triangles. They do on the top because usually you don't see where it connects. But those bottom ones, you kind of want to round them out. I think it looks better. And since I'm your teacher, I'm going to tell you what to do, but you are welcome to kind of do your own thing as well. If you don't like the way I'm doing it, then do it your own way.
she'll know, but I'll know.
And I won't be happy. No. Now we're gonna let those trees dry and we're gonna finish our bear. So if you need more time, let the students have their time to finish their trees and get caught up. So really what we're gonna do now is go straight to black. And we're going to do our nose first and then our eyeballs, and then we'll outline the rest of the bear. Oops. Okay. So, the bear, the nose, starts as a heart. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a dot, and then you're gonna do another dot close by. Two nice circles. And we're going to connect them with a V. Okay? And that is a nice little heart. Oh, that is a cute nose. Cute heart. Yeah.
The nostrils
Perfect.
are not even. It's like a real nose.
Yeah, it's like a real nose. And then you're gonna do your J's. There it is. It's a very dainty nose, though.
It's a petite one.
Fat butt. Careful, don't criticize people. It's not nice. It's cute. Perfect.
Good enough.
Now you're gonna do the eyeballs, and that's when you're gonna add just 2 dots. And you can do those dots by the end of your brush. So if you dip the end of your brush in that paint, and then you can just dab on a nice dot. And that makes them at least somewhat even. Okay? And then to wash it out, you can rinse it out in your water. It really doesn't clean it that well, but you have to take your paper towel and just wipe it off then after that. All right. Now is a little bit more the tedious part, but you're gonna go ahead and outline everything. What I would suggest is, like, if you see that your hand is going in one direction, start on the far side, and you don't want to push hard, but just follow your lines and go across. And you can make decisions on if you want this like, you can just connect those if you want, or just draw the lines. Now after I get this ear done, I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna go ahead and outline my inner ears. Outlining is the harder part of a lot of paintings, but for these cartoonesque type of paintings, it makes a lot of difference. Now, so now I'm going to paint over my nose. If your nose comes really close to the edge of your bear snout, like mine did, I outlined the outside of the paint. So instead of going right on top of my paint, I went to the outside just to make sure my black didn't overlap each other. And then I'm going to do my middle. Do you like your brush?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like it's doing really well. And then I like to outline that bottom, but you certainly don't have to. In fact, I don't think these are outlined, so that's what it looks like, not lined, and
Can they see that?
I think so. Yeah, I think they can kind of see clear back even. Yeah. I should put it like this. They have. So, see how one person versus another person.
That lip was bothering me.
Just gives it character. I have seen some people add little hands. If you feel like being creative and adding stuff, please do. Oh yeah, we forgot to add our hair. I forgot. It's okay.
What hair?
I'm gonna do it in just a minute. I mean, I didn't forget. I know what our next step is, though. I have a
making a big mess.
All right, so then with your light brown, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna dab on some lines just to make it give some hair, which is what I forgot to do. I mean, I didn't forget to. I just saved it for this moment.
Oh, but you need dark?
No, it's gonna be the light
Oh, it's gonna
because
be
you're
dark.
painting on the dark.
Alright.
It's okay. If you do drop water, it's not a big deal. Dab down.
Just below the nose, though. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, some people, you can tell on this one, my son did it way up into the face, which totally is fine. But you don't have to do that. You can do that, or I just stopped somewhere around the face. The fan might not be helping us a whole lot because it tries out our palette paint too. That's great. Now we are going to finish our trees. So with your little brush again, we're going to get some black, and I'm going to have you just take it. Actually, well, yeah, okay, take it, and all you're going to do is you're just going to be drawing lines. And it can be all the way across, or just little dot dot, short, 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 you know, just kind of free-handed lines. It's just you want a light hand, don't get too much paint on your brush, because then that will make, I don't know, you can just make your lines fatter, which if you want fatter lines, then by jingle, you make those lines fat. There is no right or wrong. Kind of like painting a tiger. And you know what? I'm going to have this branch